Gretchen. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're gonna talk about something that no one wants to think about when they have a piercing. You have a piercing, and you've had it for several months, maybe a year, couple years, something like that. Everything's going fine. It's healed. You don't have to worry about it anymore. It just exists. But then all of a sudden, it acts up. You know, you typically expect a brand new piercing, even one that's several months old, to act up, to have some issues, have some problems that you need to take care of, but you don't expect it from a piercing that is not only healed, but you've had for quite some time. And then all of a sudden it happens and you're like, what the f? Unfortunately, this is more common than you may think. Everything's going fine, you don't give your piercing a second thought, and then all of a sudden it just flares up. Why? Why are piercings so temperamental? If this happens to you, just know that you're not alone. It happens to a lot of people, unfortunately. Me being one of them. I can have piercings for years, and then all of a sudden something just irritates it to the point where it flares up, it acts up, and it hurts. And you're like, what happened? So why does a piercing decide to act up after all this time? Well, I've come across 5 common reasons that this may occur. Number 1, lack of cleaning, lack of cleansing, lack of aftercare. So although you don't have to think about a piercing as much as you do as soon as you get it done, it's still something that you have to maintain. Now, this doesn't mean that you need to necessarily clean it or take care of it as frequently, as often as you do for a brand new piercing or one that is in the process of healing. However, you should still maintain it. You should still keep up with some kind of aftercare for it. Whether that's taking your saline solution, making sure that it remains clean around the jewelry, letting some soap get to it every now and then, taking the jewelry out, cleaning the jewelry, putting it back in, some kind of maintenance to make sure that the piercing remains happy and healthy. Again, this doesn't mean that you need to be sticking with the twice or 3 times daily regimen that we all follow when we have a brand new piercing, but it's also a reminder to not forget about it, to make sure that it remains a healthy piercing. A second reason, maybe you have the wrong jewelry or wrong metals in the piercing. Your body may not like certain kinds of metals, and you could develop an allergy or just some kind of reaction to it over time. You may start off with this piercing, have one metal in there, and it's perfectly fine for 2 years, and then all of a sudden, your body's just like, wait a minute, I don't like that metal anymore. And all of a sudden, you realize that you're having some kind of reaction to the metal and you need to change it. Now, metal allergies are not as common as we may think. However, it is still something to think about. You know, if you're doing all these other things like cleaning the jewelry, cleaning the piercing site, and you notice that there's still some issues, maybe it's worth looking into to see if swapping to a different metal will help things. I'm one of those people that prefers titanium. It's just easier for all of my piercings. It's my preferred metal, and luckily it's my body's preferred metal. A third reason is that you could have just accidentally bumped it, something could have rubbed up against it, caused some friction, and now it's just irritated. You know, even if it seems minor to us, it could be substantial to your piercing. I know back when mask wearing was a bigger deal, my mask would get caught on my outer helix jewelry all the time. I didn't think anything of it, but I cannot tell you how many times my piercing would flare up after that. You know, that little minor incident to me was a much bigger deal to my piercing, especially my forward helixes. And we know how that story ended. So just making sure that you're not frequently bumping your piercings or anything's getting caught on it or snagged on it, anything like that that seems minor to us is going to be a bigger deal to your piercing. A fourth reason why your piercing may suddenly act up is it's pierced at a bad angle. Now, this is something that I suffered through myself, but it didn't really show up until 2 years after I got this piercing done. My double helix over here, one of them pierced perfectly fine. However, the bottom one is pierced slightly up. So even though it's not touching the top one, there have been moments where the bottom one gets irritated because it's at a little bit of an angle, and then it causes both to flare up because they're in close proximity. Now, even though I made the decision to not take that bottom one out and just kind of dealt with it, and knock on wood, I haven't had any problems since then, it's still something to keep in mind. You know, your piercing is fine at first, you don't notice a bad angle, and then all of a sudden, something flares up. Piercing's gonna notice after a while, like, this doesn't feel right. Ooh, I'm also close to another piercing. Let me see if I can irritate it. A lot of factors can go into play there. And then a fifth reason that I've come across is a possible infection, which is something that none of us want to think about, but an infection can still occur even after your piercing has healed and is several years old. Bacteria doesn't care if your piercing is healed or not. If it wants to enter the site, it's gonna enter the site, which leads back to making sure that you keep up with some kind of cleaning routine with your piercings, even if they're completely healed. You know, you want to clean that jewelry, you want to clean that piercing site, you want to make sure that things stay as clean as possible so that you don't have to worry about a possible infection happening. I don't know about anyone else, but I have experienced all 5 of these issues before, various piercings. Let me know in the comments below if you've experienced any of these before. You know, you have a piercing that's like 5 years old and then one day you wake up and it is just angry. You're like, why? What's going on? Definitely go through the process of eliminating things that it can't be, figuring out things that it could potentially be, and start from there. You know, if it's as simple as just cleaning around the piercing site, that's great. But then if it ends up being one of those issues where it's like, my body no longer likes this jewelry, I've got to change it, go through the process of that. If you continue to deal with issues, maybe it's beneficial to go seek out your piercer, have them look at it, give you their professional input. But let me know in the comments below if you've ever experienced yourself. Also, let me know if you've noticed other things. These are just the 5 reasons that I've come across, that I've dealt with personally, but if there are other ones that you have dealt with, leave them in the comments below. But that is it for this video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to go down there and hit that subscribe button, as well as that notification bell so YouTube will let you know when I upload next. But until next time, bye everyone!